Hi everyone, I am just jumping into your new episode's feed with a little mini update. This refers to episode 5, the killing of Susan Rohde in 2016, for which her husband Jason Rohde was convicted in late 2018. The quickest of summaries of that case is that businessman Jason was having an affair and his wife Susan found out. They decided to stay together and try work things out, including going for couples counseling and individual counseling. But in July 2016, Jason's company held a conference for staff at the Spear Hotel and Wine Estate in Stellenbosch. And Susan, having been put through the ringer by her man just months and weeks prior, decided that she would like to go along with him. Now, I suspect Jason had been counting on the fact that it was company policy that spouses not attend the event. But Susan was having none of that. Not after what they'd gone through, not with their new commitment, and knowing that the woman that Jason had been sleeping with would be in attendance at this conference. She insisted on coming along, and initially we believe through texts she sent that she felt that this had been the right call. In fact, she had come face to face with the other woman and walked away from that moment feeling strong. But a mix of rising tensions and perhaps lowering inhibitions through alcohol meant that the uneasy calm soon collapsed, and a few tense moments and sniping words in public turned into a rip-roaring fight in the confines of their hotel room. The next morning, Susan would be found dead in their locked hotel bathroom, with the cord of her hair straightener wrapped around her neck and the hook at the back of the door. Jason ultimately testifies that he told his wife he wanted a divorce and put an end to the fight. A few hours later in the early morning, Jason says he sees Susan head into the bathroom, but she's still there a little later when he wants to get showered and dressed for the day. He tries banging on the door and calling to her. He tries ringing her on her phone, which he can hear is inside the bathroom with her. And finally, he calls up to the front desk and asks for maintenance to come open the door. And this is how maintenance man Desmond Daniels is in with him when, in Jason's version, they open the door and discover that Susan has hung herself. What Jason doesn't count on, however, is how poorly this story lands with investigators and ultimately a judge. We hear testimony from Desmond that her positioning was different from what Jason describes, and we hear how not only would the court not have been able to bear Susan's weight in the way that Jason says, but that forensic examination of her body and bodily fluids in the rooms cast, well, quite a different tale, suggesting that Susan likely died in the room, strangled at Jason's hands, before being positioned to appear as suicide in the bathroom. Jason, as I already said, is found guilty of murdering his wife by Judge Salie-Hlope in the Western Cape High Court. So now, in 2021, just this week in fact, Jason has appealed this ruling in the Supreme Court of Appeal, the second highest court in South Africa. The Cape Times reports that the appeal was heard on Monday the 16th through a virtual sitting with 5 judges presiding over the matter. The National Prosecuting Authority maintains their position that Jason's whole account is a cover-up. They point to things like the presence of a significant amount of blood in her throat to suggest that she had been under a sustained attack before her death, and had swallowed some blood during the course of this attack. Jason's defense argue that this is from her fall the previous night. Oh, and I should totally add that Jason's legal team includes Advocate Francois van Zyl, who represented Shrien Devani in his trial for the murder of his wife Annie. If you're an old hat true crime nerd like me, you'll know that one by name. If not, you might remember it as the honeymoon murder, when Annie Devani was killed on her honeymoon in Cape Town, and Shrien was accused of organising a hit on her, but he was ultimately acquitted. That's on the long list of cases that I promise to get to at some point. Jason's lawyers are also contending that the evidence given by Dr. Akbal Khan and Dr. Deirdre Abrams, the state pathologists, doesn't point to a clear case of murder beyond reasonable doubt, and that Judge Salie-Hlope showed bias or favoritism to prosecution witnesses. They're contesting the time of death, which the state had as before 6 a.m., and the finding that Susan died lying down and not in a hanging position. For now, judgment is reserved, and I will update you again when we know more. Anyway, that's all we know for now. I just wanted to pop into your timelines and say, this is what's up, and I am paying attention. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll have the next episode, episode 11, which will be a full episode on the Station Strangler for you on the weekend.